In this video, we're going to look at the subtotal function in Excel. And the first thing that we need to do is ensure that our data is sorted correctly. So I want to know the number of students in each grade here. So I've sorted the data according to grade. We've got grade 8s, grade 9s, and so on and so forth. So now we're going to go to the Data tab, and we're going to select all our data, not including this heading right at the top. And under the Data tab on the far right, you'll see under Outline, there's the Subtotal option. And the Subtotal option brings up different options that we can do, and we want to look at first the change in this case, we want to do it by grade. So we're going to do it by grade, and then we want to know, we can do average, min, max, sum, etc., etc. I want to add up these numbers in the class in column D, and then I'm going to put that subtotal underneath the number in class rather than attending concert. Though we could also do it in attending concert, then it would add up those two columns. And then we can decide if we want to replace any subtotals that already exist, and if we want page breaks, and with such short data, we don't want that. And then if we want a summary right at the bottom there, and then we click OK, and it applies the subtotal. So you can see here at the end of grade 8, it's done a sum of the number in class, which we can confirm down here is 119, and it's also done a sum of the numbers attending the concert. So we could have also done for these other columns as well. And then for grade 9, grade 10, etc., it's done there. What subtotal also does is add these little pluses and minuses, so you can actually collapse your data and just see the totals by grade in this case, and then the grand totals for all of the grades. So that's adding a subtotal to a sheet or to some data. If you already have a subtotal applied, you can select your data again and go to the subtotal and say remove all, and it will get rid of the subtotal. And that's really all there is to it. Next, we're going to quickly look at a couple of errors that can occur when you're working with formulas in Excel. So the first one is the circular reference error, which will show up like this with this message that says there's one or more circular references, where a formula refers to its own cell directly or indirectly, which then causes an error in the calculation. So that means we need to fix the formula so that it's not referring to itself, which creates a sort of impossible kind of formula. So in this case, the circular reference error is coming from this calculation where we're having C2 minus G2, but the formula itself is in G2. So what we need to do is change the G2 to be D2, which was what it was meant to be. And now we shouldn't get that error. Then we've got the hash null formula, which just means that part of the formula or calculation is incorrect or missing. So if we go into this one, you can see it says sum C2 space C7. And as we know from doing our formulas, either this needs to be a colon or a comma. So if it's colon, it indicates the range. If we have a comma, then it indicates those two cells individually. So we either have one or the other. We cannot have a space because Excel then doesn't know what it's supposed to be doing. And then we can copy that down or edit it for the other ones. And that's those two errors that can pop up when you're working with calculations.